All right, welcome back to my channel, Nikki the Creator. I wanted to talk a little bit about generational curses and how I believe that it is generational thinking. It is generational thinking, and you accepting it as your truth. If you're ready to connect with me, the link is down below. If you want to join my membership, the link is down below. Now into generational curses. If you have never heard the term before, it's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's like a term that was coined for things that you notice or patterns that you notice down your family lineage. So an example that I would give, that I always give on this channel when it comes to my family, is that teenage pregnancies was a generational curse that my family had accepted as their truth. So all my mom, teenage pregnancy, my grandma, teenage pregnancy, my aunts, teenage pregnancy, my uncles had women who had teenage pregnancies, right? And they were teenagers as well. And I just remember always growing up hearing my mom saying, yeah, this family always has teenage pregnancies. I have two older sisters. One got pregnant in her teens as well, right? And I just want to say this one thing. When I saw that my other older sister did not get pregnant in her teens, but also got pregnant young, there's nothing wrong with being a teenager pregnant. I'm not judging that, but it was just something that I didn't want for myself. I just had different dreams for myself. So one day I just said no. And the day that I said no is the day that it was done, because I did not have a child and I'm not a teenager. I'm not even close. Okay. Right. So I want to talk about that because I think that sometimes people think because it's family or because they've seen it over and over and over again that they have to continuously accept it. And that's not the truth. And that's not the truth because think about it. If you know that the law is whatever you decide or whoever you decide you are or whatever you decide is happening in your life is what is going to be mirrored back to you, right? You are the cause, then there's the effect. You do not have to accept it just because you saw every single person in your family experience it. Yes, it can seem very real because it's a pattern that, one, you have accepted as your truth, but it's a pattern that you continuously seen. So it's now like habitual in your mind, but it's not something that you can accept. You can literally break the pattern. How come you didn't take on the mindset that, hey, why don't I become the generational curse breaker? Now, I want to take this from one point of view and I'm going to go to another point of view, and then you'll know that you can do whatever it is that you want, even if you've seen your family live one way. First of all, the word generational curse in itself is an affirmation. Okay, now I know that there's people who believe in like magical things, and I understand that. There's people who's into doing magic. I understand that. But labeling a pattern that you see in your family as a generational curse is like literally putting a curse on your family, because your words is powerful. Your words are powerful. Do you guys remember the movie Holes? I actually really enjoyed that movie with Shia LaBeouf. And in the story, basically his lineage didn't do something that they were supposed to do, and now there was a curse on the family, and years after years after years they were living broke because they believed that this curse was on their family, and then Shia LaBeouf ended up breaking the family curse. That's not the point. I'm bringing the point that the title generational curse is you literally labeling the pattern that you maybe became aware of as a curse. That's number one. So the first thing I would do is not label it as a generational curse, right? But I'm speaking on it because I know that's what everybody knows it has. Now, secondly, when you become aware of a pattern that you have in your family, I want you to think, wait, why do we have to? So I can even go as simple. I talked about pregnancy in my family. We can even talk about the way that we cook. Your grandma always said you have to take this out of the oven this way in order for it to taste good. And you go, okay, you didn't even question it. But why, grandma, do we have to take it out of the oven this way? But all you know is that your great-great-grandma, your great-grandma, your grandma, your mom, your sisters, your aunts all did it this way. And you go, okay. And it's nothing wrong with saying okay if you feel that it is a belief that is something that you want to use, right? But if you realize that it's outdated, I'll give another example because guys, I work in the hospital. One of the major things that I hear that people speak about when they speak of themselves and they describe their I am, right, is they go, this has been in my family for years, heart disease, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da. They just accepted that diabetes is in their family. They just accepted that heart disease is in their family, so they know that they're a candidate to receive it soon because all their aunts and uncles, all their family members have had it. But why do you have to accept it? Why do you have to be another one in your family to accept this truth? Why? Remember, it is a cause and effect. It is a mirror. So if I woke up one day and go, That belief of being a teen pregnant mom is not it for me. No. I want something else for myself. I don't mind having children, but I don't want to be a teen mom, right? I can decide for myself, and it is okay. I think the fear of not doing what family uh, wants, or not family wants, but just not being a part of family, sometimes scares people from venturing out from what is normal within their family. But remember, you are individual. You are an individual who thinks for thyself. You can have exactly what you want once you decide this. So when you're hearing terms like generational curses, or when you're hearing things that your family talks about, and you're like, yeah, it's always been this way and it has to be this way, the only thing that I want to petition to you is maybe not say that this is how it has to be, but this is how I'm accepting it's going to go, if you choose to accept it. And if you do not want it, this is how you would break a generational curse, or generational thinking is how I think about it, or generational decision. How you would break it is simply deciding something differently, right? So you notice that your family has this pattern and it just does not seem appealing to you. It's just not something that you want to experience. It's something you don't want to identify as. I would simply go, I know I've seen this and heard about this for years because this is all I've seen within my family. But I'm choosing to be the one that's different, and that's okay. And that doesn't mean that I'm not loved, and it doesn't mean that my family doesn't accept me, but I will be the one that's different. Perfect example. People who talk about, I grew up in the trenches, I grew up broke, I grew up in poverty, we was eating oodles and noodles, we was eating this, we was sharing one mattress, and now I'm rich. How do you think that they broke the generational curse of their family being poor and being in poverty? They decided that they are not going to adopt the mindset of their family being poor and rich, because poverty and being poor is a mindset. It's not for the luck or unlucky. It is for those who have the mindset of being poor. Okay, we're going to talk about that in another video. Money mindset, right? One day they woke up and go, I don't want to eat oodles and noodles anymore. I want steak and lobster, right? I want to be able to go and spend on whatever car I want. I want to be able to pay my bills and know that I have more than enough left over. I don't want to think like how my family thinks about money. I don't want to move, and I don't want to have the relationship I have with money that my family has. So I'm going to think differently. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be this. And they become that. And then you'll see the one person who's the one doctor out of their family, or the one person who had a successful business out of their whole family. And now they take care of the whole family. You kind of get it? It's because they broke that generational mindset. They broke the generational thinking in regards to money, in regard to whatever topic it is. So when you think of something, and in regards to your family, that you feel that you've been accepting as your truth for these past few years, thinking, oh, it has to be this way, especially medical. People think because it's medical, it has to be that way. No, it does not. No, it does not. I want to let y'all know right now, just because previous people were sickly doesn't mean that you have to be sickly. That's number one. So think of things that you notice patterns in your family that it's like, I don't want this anymore, and decide differently. Decide to be who you are. You decide who you are. I know that we were all raised, under our guardians, and they passed on whatever beliefs they thought was going to be best for us to navigate this world. But what you have to do is, when you come into deliberate manifestation, when you come into deliberate conscious, like you realize you are consciousness, and you now know that this is like something that you can control, you have the choice to keep going and keep doing that, or do what you want. It can be your way. Do not stay stuck because you feel that it's passed from your family members. Do not stay and be one way because that's what your family wants. Do what you want. All right, guys?